Phoenix. So
and out of the ones in Vogue, probably the Phoenix the most successful here.
Yeah, definitely. Those first 2 banned from NewBee last game, and for good reason.
They didn't have anything to really save anybody. You saw Miracle got gone on a lot, and if he got initiated on, he was more or less just dead.
Yeah, they had Venge, but like with Slaughter Amp and Lifestealer popping out, any hero's dying in less than a second.
How much do you value having like a crit roaming hero? Like Earth Spirit's the big one.
Oh, Ricky ban, wow. I don't necessarily think it's needed. I think that they just need to do better in their lanes. That's what Dota always comes down to, is how well do you do in your lanes. And OG did not do well.
So OG get first pick. Phoenix out there.
As is the Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
It offers another form of initiation, unlike last game where they were just relying on Moon.
And NewBee are dire again. They do tend to favor like the strong Roche-taking heroes on that side, especially. We see most teams like that. Death Prophet, Slardar are still available.
Dire's been heavily favored this tournament.
59 wins from 88 games so far.
Oh, wow.
More than 67% win rate. Yeah.
Closing on 70.
For Dire?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You've seen a lot of teams this tournament, if they're behind, they take Roshan.
Did OG take Radiant in the last game?
They were Radiant. They were Radiant's second pick, which is the interesting thing.
Oh, okay, so maybe they just like second pick.
What's the difference in mentality if you're like a Radiant team? I know you in Dire Boys, you talked a bit about like pushing is more important.
Yeah, there's actually not too many advantages to being Radiant right now. Now,
it's just strictly worse.
Yeah,
basically.
I think it's just worse. With the new map changes, there's really not too many benefits.
All right, so NewBee do get their Phoenix. The Void got banned second stage last game, but they're going to grab it here first stage, and it was the crit Earth Spirit to open things up.
The only like major differences I can think of is that the Ancients from Dire, or like, well, I guess it's another Dire advantage for the offlane, where the Ancients are just so much closer.
The only advantage I can think of for Radiant is that another advantage for Dire.
I don't know.
I mean, back like what, half a year ago, there was like this mentality amongst at least some players that just like being on Radiant and pushing up felt better. It's like a really weak argument.
That's mostly for less experienced players, I think. But.
Yeah, I mean, it was like some pro players mentioned it. Like we talked about it on EG like a couple times here and there, but it's more of a mental thing, not like a tangible advantage on the map.
Yeah, it's definitely some players do prefer to be playing down the screen rather than up the screen. There is that, and not just in Dota, but in other games as well, which is. Well, that's how you feel, I guess. That's how you feel. Peter's shaking his head.
What are we talking about?
What a load of nonsense.
Let's talk about the draft. Bat Rider gets picked.
Well, they do
banning out the bench.
Yeah, they do have 2 forms of initiation now with Earth Spirit and the Bat.
They also have the Earth Spirit who can move a lot, can potentially help secure the Bat's lane a bit. Moon not having a good start was definitely an issue last game.
Void's a really tough hero to zone as like one support. There's only like a couple that can actually zone out a Void entirely. Sometimes you'll have like your carry can help you, whether it's like a Clinks or a Drow Ranger with the orb effect. He can kind of orb walk behind the creep wave and help you zone out a Void. But with an Earth Spirit, I don't think they'll be necessarily committed to zoning out a Void solo. So maybe we'll see Fly on something a little bit stronger in lane, perhaps.
Maybe a Disruptor.
I don't even think Disruptor can do it. Maybe we always go with Bane, but Bane's not always the best hero. It's not really that bad at all this game though.
Yeah, they took a Disruptor in the second game that they played against NewBee in the group stage. That one ended after 28 minutes though, so...
Yeah, maybe not.
So NewBee banning the Lycan. Again, not so the OG have run a whole lot, but they have basically no objective-taking potential right now, already 2 picks in, so...
Venge Phoenix are banned, so that kind of leaves Disruptor or Dazzle for Fly. And Dazzle seems like kind of where they would go, that since they have 2 initiation heroes, an Earth Spirit and Bat Rider, but NewBee always has the potential to pick AA as well, which combos really well with Void and is incredibly good versus Dazzle.
Yeah, what are they going to combo with the Void here?
Well, they already have the
DP already got banned. Let's see. They've run Clinks with it.
Yeah,
they've run...
They're still Invoker.
From a support point of view, they've run the Lion with it before.
I mean, they run the
but he just
Lion
gets
with
banned
almost
now.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you just want damage to dump into Chrono, but the Lion does get banned now.
And they've also used the Dark Seer as well.
I'd say Void Phoenix and then like one more is pretty much all you need.
If you go AA here, though, you're lacking any like control or playmaking potential from your supports.
They're taking Miracle's Invoker.
I think it's... have they been playing Quas Wex, or has it been Exort?
They have not been running too much of the hero. They ran it once against Fnatic.
Do they have Void?
They did not.
Okay.
That was the game where they ran the KP Naga, so it was
Yeah.
kind of a curveball draft. I think it was Quaswex, though, I want to say.
I'm not totally sure what we'll see here,
Let's
but
see.
I think that
Oh, no, it was actually Quaswex.
Weaver might be a pretty good likelihood for How this game.
Well, they do go with the Fly Dazzle.
Yeah, man, I got this.
There you go. TI winning drafter right here.
I mean, you gotta play what you know, and OG is picking some of their staples because that's what got him here, and that's what you need to do. And Dazzle's great this game. There's nothing that says it's not a good pick this game, unless they pick AA.
Well,
But
I guess like you said, AA Phoenix isn't the greatest support combo.
It's really not.
You don't have any disable from those two. They're both very level dependent. They're not that good at moving around early.
Very
so.
static, and you can't help lanes.
And you're against Earth Spirit, and Earth Spirit will be moving, so I don't think that's the way NewBee's headed.
Disruptor's okay for Chuan. That's one of the heroes he's been playing a lot.
Yeah. Pretty good against Bat.
Yeah, great first bat.
Good for chasing follow-up kills
Good
after
for Earth
Chrono.
Spirit. Silence is nice for Dazzle.
So just looking back on their last set of games against OG, they haven't run an Invoker in any of those games.
I think NewBee will take their support hero here and then wait on since they have the last pick of the draft.
Oh, they do go AA.
They'll be able to see both of OG's heroes here, which they're going to see their mid and their carry, and then they're going to be able to last pick Hao's here, or they could run Void for Hao, which he has played before, and then they could have KPI play something else.
Like Slardar, for example.
So I think, Slardar's still in the pool. That's an option, but maybe even like his Naga or something along those lines.
Okay.
Or Tidehunter is still very, very good.
Yeah, both of those heroes great against the Bat initiation, especially.
Definitely.
Do you think Tide makes them super cooldown dependent, though?
No, I don't think so. I think with Tide, they can just walk down a lane, and if Batrider tries to go, Tide's going to have a Ravage and a Mech, and Phoenix is going to Sunray whoever they go on, and that person's not going to die.
So OG really haven't shown anything about their overall game plan here. Just solid laning supports and an initiator, but we don't see if they're going to go for more split push, more farm. They know they're fighting into a huge team fight right now.
Yeah, NewBee's safe lane's a little weird. Like we talked about Phoenix and AA being not the best support duo, but AA does kind of secure your lane with the Chilling Touch. So maybe Crit will roam up there and Batrider and or on Earth Spirit and try to help out Bat, but
I mean, once in a while, OG has run the no-tail bat, something they've shied away from a bit recently. Any chance of that coming
I'd
out?
be really surprised if they did that. I think this tournament, it's been Moon that's almost always.
It was
been
like
playing
every
the
game
bat.
at Shanghai, but yeah, it's definitely been different.
I mean, they didn't do that well at Shanghai, so.
We're talking about going back to things that work, so
Yeah.
maybe not.
I'm not sure what no-tail hero we'll see here.
Juggernaut
We'll
was
see PL.
banned last game.
But it's tough when you have these 4th and 5th picks because you need to pick a hero that's not going to get totally counterpicked by that last selection.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to deal with refraction here.
Yeah.
We'll know a lot more about OG's hero when we see this last ban.
TA is a good matchup against Invoker, but beyond that, there's Phoenix to deal with it. There's AA.
Phoenix is incredibly great versus TA.
Yeah, on paper it looks like a hard TA game in the mid game, but they do have Earth Spirit TA with even the Dazzle may be able to TP if needed, so perhaps they're just trying to crush the lane. You mentioned laning being really important here, and there's a matchup where TA can do well.
Batrider's great versus AA, great versus Invoker. He's okay versus Phoenix.
They don't have a great way to deal with the lasso initiation,
Not yet.
but they do have one more pick.
That's true. They don't have, like last game it was Chuan on the Lion blinking as soon as Moon would blink in and lasso, Chuan would blink in and go on the bat. They don't really have that this game. A is not going to be able to counter initiate. So Phoenix could maybe get an Ags. And can you take someone out of lasso with Ags? I'm not totally sure.
I mean, we don't really see very many Phoenix Ags. So.
Yeah.
If it gets to that point, if often.
I just don't know what kind of effect that has. I know you can't snowball someone out of lasso. So
I'm not sure. So they banned Dro again, 2 games in a row now, 5th banning the hero. Just really, now with the Lycan also has been banned, so there's no just pick this hero, win all the lanes option.
Yeah, it's a huge focus on lanes for NewBee right now.
Yeah.
Slug ban.
The strange thing about the Drow is they played OG.
That's new.
Oh,
with the Drow, and NewBee won very easily. Naga for 5th pick.
so this is one of the ways to counter big team fights. Silencer used to be a hero teams would experiment with. Song obviously great for resetting fights. Can also split push and just prevent them from ever 5-manning with the combo.
It's true. It's a lot of bursts, though. I don't know if necessarily Naga Sleep is going to save someone. They're going to get chronoed, there's going to be a Sunstrike, and there's going to be an AA Blast.
And if it all dumps in, it may not matter.
And the rest are just right clicks at that point. So
they do have Grave as well. So.
But if Naga's a great hero to give them lots of vision that will allow them to kind of figure out where NewBee's heroes are throughout the game and maybe dodge some of these team fights or maybe find themselves taking favorable fights.
So what pulls it together here for NewBee?
Something to deal with the Naga
The lasso
illusions.
as well.
Ember Spirit, Sven still in the pool, I think.
Weaver. No, there's the Ember.
Thanks.
Very
It's
nicely
fine.
done.
It's fine.
What a draft,
It's all
sir.
good. It's all good. We've got PPD here, and he's saved the
Last
panel entirely.
place Manila Major, guys.
Final thoughts, Charlie.
This is a new look for OG. Have we ever seen a no-tail Naga Siren?
Not here.
I don't think so.
No.
Been
Peter?
a while.
What do you reckon? Who's got the better draft?
Man.
It's going to depend on Moon once again if he gets anything out of the offlane. If he gets things out of the offlane, I'm a fan of OG. Otherwise, I'll just take NewBee again.
Okay, key man Moon, LD.
It's definitely a new look from OG, especially. I think NewBee being dire side with this much team fight, this much AoE, I just think this is an overall comfortable draft for them. So OG have to win lanes. I favor NewBee here.
Okay, all right, thank you to all three of our panelists. We'll head over to our commentary team
We don't
once
need to
more
go, Charlie.
for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Paul. Indeed, game 2 now of OG versus NewBee. Let's not waste any time as we get into game 2.
OG versus NewBee.
So indeed, here we have it. Gods, let's talk about this. OG bringing something a little bit different to the board. No-tail Naga Siren. What's your thoughts?
Normally you get excited when you see a player on a new hero combo, but Naga Siren, maybe not the most exciting or flashy hero, but we're going to see what No-Tail can do in this hero. I'm curious to see OG and how they can pull this off and how it changes things with this team, because this is probably one of the last heroes I would have expected out of OG at this tournament.
Absolutely, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it does against NewBee's lineup. I mean, they've got an incredibly strong composition, that infamous Void combination with the Phoenix, and then the fact that they've taken Miracle's Invoker away. They're going to put Mu, of course, on it in the mid lane. The carry How on his Ember Spirit. The one weakness that the panel did talk about, though, is the fact that between the AA and the Phoenix, maybe a little lack of lockdown, but have NewBee compensated for that elsewhere enough, do you think?
I mean, the Ember's that good tempo controller who has that short cooldown disable. You've got an 8-second cooldown on Searing Chains. It can set up a cold feed, so this fixes a lot of the problems. KP getting aggressive bottom, but similar on the OG side, not the best lockdown, at least early on. You've got Lasso for initiation later on. I think the big reason Naga works here is because NewBee, this Game 2 draft, very different than Game 1. It's much more, you see the Void Phoenix, it's team fight, you're playing around your big ultis. The Ember Spirit can solve the Naga problem a bit, but unlike last game, you're not worried about NewBee running at you 10 to 15 minutes in the game with Slider and Lifestealer. This time around, NewBee have to play around the cooldowns a bit more. They're also just not as fast tempo with a draft like this.
Absolutely. And looking over to OG's lineup, do you imagine the kind of play style that they're going to look for is kind of the combination Miracle, Moon, and Crit to be those playmakers, looking for the action around the map, where you have obviously Fly on his Dazzle, looking after No-Tail, trying to get into that stage of the game where he's going to be this, unstoppable late game force. On top lane, Moon in trouble, and Moon gets the Sunstrike on point. Moon will start to take the salve. In fact, Crit trying for the first burn. No-Tail's going to find it on the bottom lane. Action going on globally here. OG with the first blood. Can NewBee find Moon in return? They are trying their best here. Moon's giving them a bit of a workout, and he is going to try and deny himself here to the neutrals. He's not going to be able to do it, though. Try finding the kill, and Crit's actually rolled into this. He may end up giving NewBee a second kill if Hal and Tron could get away with this one. Chains come out, and NewBee will take a second, going the way of Hal on the Ember Spirit.
Oh, Crit will be regretting that one for a while, but the first blood going to Naga, that is obviously a great pickup at bottom. Does look like KP is getting some XP out of this lane, but the first blood for Naga of all heroes is something you do have to be a little bit concerned about.
Absolutely, and I'm sure we'll see KP start to play a little bit more reserved after being caught out at the start. And the mid lane matchup, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Having this TA against the Invoker, I mean, obviously, during the draft, Miracle, he's going to be picking up the TA if he feels confident in the matchup. He knows Invoker incredibly well, so we should expect to see Miracle do all right in this lane.
Mu is one of those mid laners. He reminds me a lot of Fat, is that people don't talk about him. Mechanically, though, insanely good. That he's not like some 9K MMR player or anything, but he will win his lanes, and even lanes that he maybe shouldn't win will do very well.
Top Moon in a lot of trouble here. The bird coming across, Sunray from across the tree line. NewBee taking down another kill on this top lane, punishing Moon for the second time. Moon maybe needs to tone down the aggression up here. Level 3 now on the Phoenix.
He's playing kind of extra aggressive because he's had the backup of Earth Spirit constantly, so he wants to try and set up these kills where he can get 2 or 3 napalm stacks and have crit roll in. But he's just being he's kind of overextending and trying to do a bit too much right now as NewBee finds a second kill on him. And something the panel talked a bit about was Moon having a good time in this lane, which so far has not happened.
Immediately as well, we're seeing how dealing very well with Moon's aggression. As soon as he tries to go in, just holding him back with the chains.
Smoke mid.
See if they can get the wrap around. And we ignore the courage, just go straight for the kill. Sunray onto Miracle, eating through those refraction charges. And Miracle, can he get himself out of this one? Will pop the fairy fire. The bolt charges, will it be enough? Diving forward, Miracle takes it out. Miracle!
His precision.
Threads the needle there.
The way the dive works, he just...
On Crit, he's coming in to punish this as well. Kaka trying for the TP, realise it's not going to work because the stun is available for Crit, and he just moves in, lays down the rock, beats down the bird. He certainly can kill a bird with one stone in this case.
We're talking about one of the best Phoenix players in the world having his dive dodged by Miracle there. He stands right in the middle of it, doesn't take any damage or get hit by the slow, and that is just some insane individual play out of the mid laner of OG, the 9K MMR Miracle.
Absolutely, and we need to see this high-level play from OG because game 1, they got battered by NewBee. NewBee dealt incredibly well with them. They just played at a higher level. The draft, the performance wasn't there from OG, but already at the start of this game, it looks to be a much cleaner beginning.
Yeah, after the 2 deaths, Moon has gone back to the lane and been able to put a bit of pressure on, get some farm. He's up to 11 CS in level 4, but similarly, bottom lane, Void, level 4 himself. So both offlaners having a decent time here early on.
Now look at that, the stats indeed. I've not played a professional game for 11 months on the Nagasiren Notel. So far the farm's going good, and talking about the 2 side lanes, looking at the safe laners, the fact that Notel 27 for 6 over on the top lane, How only 14 for 4. He's really been shut down in terms of the early game farm because of the presence of Moon and the occasional appearance of Crit.
Yeah, and even when you're getting those, like the kill and the assist at top on How, you're not going to match up well against the Nagasiren who's free farming away.
What? Crit, eyes onto the mid lane, getting a lot of vision down around this mid lane as well.
Have got level 6, so that means traps are online.
Crit's just going to try and find the perfect angle here. Clean out this final range creep, so the push is there, and they'll be able to get the creeps to tangle town. Immediately there we have it. The creeps are gone, so in comes Crit with the roll in. Onto Moon. Miracle. Has he got the damage to deal with this Invoker? He's got Moon turning up as well. They should be able to find it, and they will. Nothing that Tron could do to save the Moon. Flying himself away. In fact, Kaka falling incredibly low. Needs to be careful on this Phoenix, but OG get away with that kill onto the Invoker. A bit of action there, favorable for Miracle. And this mid lane, 27 for 14 against the 21 for 6. A lot of denies as well done by the TA. It's looking good for OG.
Very timely rotation from the Earth Spirit, waiting for the trap slow. Even just that small microsecond of slow, allowing him to guarantee the boulder smash into rolling boulder. And from there, Invoker doesn't really have a good counterplay. Hasn't got any points in Wex. There's no Ghost Walk potential. And OG even covered their bases by having Moon rotate into the mid lane, just in case NewBee showed up with a lot of heroes.
This is one Miracle. He's going to try and secure himself the rune. He does have backup from Crit coming in. The Sunray though, meaning the Miracle can't hang around to grab it. Regen will be there, but Crit, he's onto Kaka, gets off the stun, the slow, the silence as well. Will the damage be there though? And it's not, so Crit has to be careful now, getting himself away. Kaka dives forward, Moo closing the gap as well, and Crit, can he manage to play his way out of this one? He hasn't got anything else to throw out, and NewBee will find the kill. Moon's turned up on the Batrider, trying to chase down the bird. Kaka will be able to get away as Tron is there. They'll look to turn this one. Moon still trying to find his 4 stacks onto the Phoenix. It's a hard kill to get. He's desperately going for it. One more touch will do it and he'll find it. But he is going to get punished. How turning up with the reaction. The Moon at the moment, he's creating a lot of space, wasting a lot of time here for NewBee. But with the tower hitting down onto him, he will get punished for it.
He may have actually been able to TP out there. I don't know if he totally realized how didn't actually have the searing chains up, but either way, a lot of, I guess, quote-unquote, space created, trading his life for a support. Not really ideal as a Batrider, but How had to rotate off the lane, came in, used Fire Remnant, and he can't TP back to lane.
Lane again, immediately with the trap, Slow trying to move in, onto move, Crit, playing it perfectly, move out of mana here as well. Not a lot of hope for him until the backup comes through, and here we have it, KP deeping in, but Crit with the silence, making sure that the Chronos doesn't come out immediately. Now it comes out onto Miracle. Is the damage there? There's a bash, the Sunray as well. Miracle, will it be safe? Flies there, but he hasn't got the man on the ball. Charges, keep Miracle alive. They've taken down Move. They'll turn towards KP. OG, take two. How? In with the reaction, finds a kill onto Miracle. Remnants up to the high ground, tries to finish off Moon. The Flame Guard taking him down with a heal from Fly. The slow from Crit holding back How. He won't be able to find himself anything else there. And it's a 2-for-1 for OG, but they do lose Miracle at the end of it.
I mean, all this is going on while No-Tail is free farming, remind you. NewBee are playing 5v4 Dota right now. No-Tail, Arcane Boots, Aquila starting to pressure the tier 1 tower. And this is going to be a big concern for NewBee, who are going to actually decide to rotate Move off this mid lane. It's just been such a bloodbath there. They don't want Invoker involved in this much fighting. He's only level 6, 8 minutes into the game. Moon needs to find some farm and alone time, so he's like, okay, let's make a truce. I'll go down bottom. Me and No-Tail can have our farming time, but he does not want to go anywhere near the action.
Absolutely, at the moment. You know, NewBee, they're playing similar to how they were in the first game, just reacting to every kind of play that OG is going for. But at the moment, the trades are going OG's way.
Yeah, and you can kind of see what NewBee feel like they have to do. How's even picked up a drum?
Hello. Jaka just diving away there. He's got to be careful though. I mean, Miracle, as we've seen, this man willing to play incredibly aggressively on his TA.
Yeah. The Ember of How has to be the one kind of to create space for Invoker at this point. Void has to play around the Chrono cooldown. You can't get kills alone as a Void. You're talking about an offlane Void with just brown boots and a poor man's shield, so How's Ember with the AA Ice Blast has to be kind of the killing duo of this NewBee lineup right now. You've always got the Sunstrikes that can go flying in, but you don't want to actually fight with your Invoker outside of that global Sunstrike.
And you can see there's a bit of a nice creep stack there for the Dire towards the top by the lane. So Ember, you can see now How just getting the pull across, clearing out some of these larger creeps. And this is keeping him very, very close to the farm of No-Tail. We saw at the start that How was falling behind in CS, but at this stage, just only a few hundred behind this Naga Siren, which has been given a lot of space. So NewBee at least able to close the gap there, mid lane. Kaka just trying to do his best to slow down Miracle's farm with the Sunray spam. He's not going to be able to get a kill, but nonetheless going to be incredibly annoying.
He wants to hit that level 6. Could buy the Tome of XP at 10 minutes and hit level 6 and go for a smoke play, but...
Here we go with the setup down bottom. NewBee, they need to have TPs in if they want to have a chance of countering this one. The silence should be there as well in case, and it is. Brit plays it perfectly.
That is so good. They time the sleep. They take the sleep off as the Boulder Smash is going through. Meanwhile, Dazzle does get picked off by an Ice Blast, it looks like, but the much bigger kill on the Void at bottom lane, and a very well executed kill at that. Does put Song of the Siren on cooldown, which is that long 3-minute cooldown. If NewBee want to go for a gank, No-Tail will not have that escape spell.
And at the moment as well, we see Miracle at the start. You know, when he went aggressive, they did react to him. Do the side of NewBee look to take down and punish this TA? I mean, where are you kind of looking to put your efforts at the moment?
Killing Naga is the dream scenario,
yeah.
Knowing that there's no Song. If you can find the Naga, it's not necessarily a guaranteed kill, it's still a 1k HP Naga, but with a Chronosphere into Sunstrike, you've got, well, no Supernova yet. Kaka's not quite there, so it looks like they're going to instead go for the easier kill on the TA.
There we have it. Wrapping around, KP going to jump in immediately, committing the Chronosphere. We'll see if there's going to be any kind of save from OG. TPs are coming through, but the pure damage coming down as the head of Miracle. They'll find themselves the kill. Moon's there. And that's so available yet to skill it here at level 8 with the Supernova out. KP getting the batches. Moon in a lot of trouble, but Fly gets the grave out. Moon will be able to escape. Still Kaka. Oh, the Sunray will get him. Crit turns in. Has to get out the Magnetize. Can they stop this man TPing out? They can't. He's gone. So OG losing to NewBee. Won't be punished at all there in that engagement, and now regaining good control of this game. 9 for 7. Something else to know, of course, is this incredible timing of Chuan. And you look towards Chuan, he had a Midas at 10 minutes in.
Yeah, this 3-0-3. And Chuan, as far as the, I guess, I don't know, he kind of plays that sometimes 4, sometimes 5 position support. As far as the role he plays, where he's on the 5 position heroes but gets a lot of farm, he always has these amazing games. His Lion last game, we saw it. Another Ice Blast mid, Miracle.
Oh, yeah, this is the perfect setup here for NewBee if they can find the follow-through. Refraction's gone, Sunstrike will be there as well. It's going to be off the point, but the Sunray, that doesn't miss.
Level 4 Sunray this early on, and you cannot rely on Refraction. This is where, yes, TA, good laning matchups against the Invoker, but once you get out of that laning state, Zero struggles tremendously against Phoenix, AA, like Chronosphere lockdown, Ember Spirit. You've got so many ways to fight and deal with the TA Refraction.
A lot of this now really onto NoTel to just continue to make sure that he finds the farm. He has 2.2k on him at the moment. I imagine the build he is going to be saving up for that relic this game.
Absolutely. No question about it. That is the build which can win your team this game. It's going to come down to creating space for NoTel to get that range and come online. And TA not really the best hero to fit that description, but Miracle as a player fits that description because NewBee just, I mean, they're like, okay, it's Miracle. We got to keep ganking him. We got to keep killing him. They've taken him out 3 times, but as a result, Naga's been able to free farm the lane, and the jungle has 91 CS already. Is being outfarmed by Hal now, who took down a Tier 1 tower, as well as being involved in a lot of kills.
Immediately jumping in onto Moon. Sunray, Sunstrike, goodbye Sunshine. Another kill for NewBee. I mean, this catch potential, you know, if you land this Chronosphere, you're pretty much killing anyone on the side of OG every time, as long as you have at least a +1 and a Sunstrike.
And NewBee are just being so proactive at finding pickups. It's not as fast-paced as last game in terms of taking objectives, but as far as finding fights and getting kills, it's just as fast-paced. All out of Kaka's Phoenix, it feels like.
Miracle and Hal. It's kind of playing around with each other here in the mid lane. Kaka keeping eyes on NoTel. They do really want to try and kill this man again. 2.7k gold, NoTel getting closer and closer to the relic.
Speaking of Midases, it looks like Kaka close to his as well. So we're going to be looking at very rich
triple
and
Midas.
high-level supports on NewBee's side. You're versing a Naga, what do? You match greed with greed.
OG, 4 towards the mid lane. The ping's coming out. NewBee are hanging around for a bit of a reaction if OG start to go aggressive once more. Tower incredibly low. They'd love to find that extra bit of gold by getting the final touch OG, but already Hal. Eyes onto Moon. Gets the chains off. Some kind of follow through. Coming through from Fly, and a Moon will be given the backup. Here comes the Ancient Iron Crush and Ice Blast onto Fly, remnanting forward, looking to kill off the Dazzle Hound. He can't quite get it. Sunray's flying front to Miracle, and they've lost the TA.
Yep.
Again, NewBee finding these huge kills, and they're not done. They're moving from what's a fantastic supernova in the middle of it all. Fly will grave himself, continue to run. Now coming in from the side, he's got the slight and the chains ready at the waiting. Fly brought down incredibly low. Doesn't quite get the latch off here, and Fly will survive. Sunstrike, who's it going to catch? No one for the time being. So OG will be able to keep the rest alive. Moon's got eyes onto Kaka, and he'll move in. Kaka's just going to go for the TP out. He's not going to make it. Flame Break will be there, and Moon just playing with the Firebird. Fire with fire there, and Moon finds the kill.
Needed that.
Hal's looking for Moon, and with the Ice Blast, that might just catch him in. No, it can't quite get him. And with the backup of Crit, can Moon actually get himself away from this one? Time dilation coming through the slows there, but Fly, the backup Miracle's there as well. KP holding out for the perfect chrono. Will he be able to get it off? He should, and he does. 2 men on the catch of it. Yeah, they've got to get themselves out.
Kind of uses it like the Song of the Siren there just to cover the retreat of Hal, who is very low in mana, as well as the Invoker of Mu. But again, while this is all going on, NoTel has 4k gold, has the relic money. He's ready to go, and with the T1 tower, they'll get even more money on top of this. Fine, not going to go for the deny.
It really is all about whether or not this is a game that a Naga can win. I mean, the later this goes, I mean, you look at NewBee's lineup, as you said, because of the way that they've been building and the heroes themselves, they're still going to be incredibly relevant towards the latter portions of the game if it ends up going that far.
It's actually, I've never seen this build out of a Batrider. He's still got no points in Flaming Lasso at level 10. He's not even going Blink Dagger. He's going straight into an Aether Lens. This is like OG saying, our plan is just to farm. We're not looking for pickoffs. We're looking just to go for these kind of more stable item build-ups where we're not going to be setting the tempo. They're letting NewBee be the ones who decide how this game plays out, but for the most part it's working because NoTel has gone completely unchecked. NewBee have lost a bit of their early game lead here as we transition into the mid game.
Kaka is coming across the jungle. They need to keep tabs on Noto, check out the man's progression. Make sure that he doesn't get too out of control.
It's really just, at this point, it's like too late to gank him. You've just kind of accepted and conceded to the fact that Naga's going to have a 18-minute Radiance, and NewBee are just saying, we think we can beat it with the way they're prioritizing ganking Miracle. And I think the one thing to look at as like, okay, we're giving Naga free farm, and let's try beat it late game, is they've got triple Midas, they're going to scale very well, and TA is not going to scale all that well.
Miracle, I mean, he really is going for the playmaking build here. Rather than finishing off the full Deso first, he's just going to pick up that Blink Dagger on top of the Blight Side.
This is in some ways more defensive than offensive this game, just because with the refraction up, if you get initiate on, you can still blink away since you don't take damage with the refraction up. It does not disable your blink, and NewBee
looking for a big smoke here. But at the same time, OG, they grouped up as 4 as well.
And the blink also great against the Void. You can, if you're fast fingers and we're talking about Miracle, you can get that.
It's going to dispel. What's the reaction going to be? Immediately just trying to get themselves out of there. Crit turns around, gets a 2-man stun. How? Quite get the catch off. The roll away is there from Crit. Crit and Fly, they need to run because How, he's moving in. KP trying to get close enough to land the Chronosphere. How? Chains onto 2, Sunstrike as well, but it's a little bit too far for NewBee to commit. They're now starting to back up. It's a 3-man Weavers. OG, they'll want to fight into this one. Kaka does have the Supernova available, but the lasso's there, but immediately the Chronosphere reaction. Miracle trying to finish off Kaka, he can't quite do it now. He's got to run. The Ice Blast flying through. The Silence is done. The Flame Break KP brought it incredibly low. Giant walks away. He's going to survive for the time being, but they still get him the Magnetize. It will bring him down, and OG fight to How. Looking for the TP bomb. Crit with the plays! He shoots, he scores! It's a double kill for Crit. Miracle, he's still potentially got eyes looking for more. Moon and Crit are there to back it up. It's just a poor old solo AA. Goodbye, Twan, as OG take a 4th, equalizing the scoreboard off now, 12 for 12. A huge fight for them there, and NewBee, they just were too damn aggressive, gods.
Yeah, they find themselves incredibly deep. They've already committed the Phoenix dive, and Miracle positioned himself that he blinked behind the Chrono, was seeing Phoenix. For a second, it looked bad for OG when the song actually saved the Phoenix for a while, but Crit comes up big. He hits the stun as the song ends, again, preventing the Phoenix from using that kind of escape spell or using the Supernova. And you take the Phoenix, Supernova, and Sunring out of the fight, and NewBee are missing one of their biggest tools, their most important tools for an engagement, and just really good control from OG, baiting NewBee as deep as they did, and then they just turn it around.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Crit. I mean, he on his Earth Spirit.
It's been
obviously
the Crit show,
his staple, but yeah, he has had an absolutely incredible performance so far. 3-2-7. He's coming up to the money for that Blink Dagger if that's what he wants to go for straight up. But yeah, what a great Earth Spirit game this has been so far. And every single time it's been there, as you said, just to follow up the song, any kind of setup from OG. This game, I think that this is pretty much as close as we expected an OG NewBee matchup in the upper bracket to be.
Oh, absolutely, and completely unexpected with the way that this draft has gone with the Naga Siren TA duo from OG, and so far so good. OG TA is back in the game after that fight. Miracle is suddenly up there with the Invoker in terms of farm. Hao's the one who's also falling off now. He needs to just get back to work on that Battle Fury. But NewBee have snuck their way into the Roche pit.
Yeah, this is nice as well. If they can get away with this one, OG, but any idea that this is going on at the moment, 4 towards the mid, they are going to start to make a movement across, and Miracle has a trap ready to lay down. So they know what's up. It doesn't look like NewBee will get away with this one. And indeed they won't. You know, they've been spotted. KP still hanging around, playing around with the Roshan, but OG will be there ready for the battle. Looks like it won't kick off for the time being. Neither team feeling confident enough to move into the pit. As we can just see Miracle actually just posed incredibly aggressively to see if anyone comes around through this area of the jungle.
I think partly why NewBee want to take it now is because taking Roche only gets more difficult now that Naga's starting to commence the split.
Miracle could go for this mid because Crit's there as well to find the follow through. Moo will get out the Ghost Walk in time. They don't have detection, so Moo will be able to walk this one off successfully. Crit just a little bit too slow there with the follow-up silence, and Moo just too damn quick with the reactions.
OG starting to just assert dominance on the map. Being able to push out all these lanes using the Naga illusions has just given them a ton of map control. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get too many wards up. NewBee have de-warded the recent ones, but Fly taking path into the enemy jungle will be looking to get some aggressive vision.
They can get How as well. They need Crit to hit a stun or a silence. They'll get it immediately. Immediate silence from Crit. 1-2, Miracle. Ripping through How on the Amber Spirit. And now this is at a stage as well where Miracle just 300 gold away from the Desolator. If he has that, you know, within the next minute, as well as the Blink Dagger, it's going to cause so many issues for NewBee. And also on top of that, the fact is we constantly say that No-Tail, he's had a perfect game. He's 12,000 net worth. He hasn't died at all. The Naga start it's been perfect for him.
Absolutely. Him and Crit have really just showed up here in game number 2 when OG have needed it. Yeah. You have your star mid player getting shut down, prioritized. He's on a hero that's getting countered by NewBee's draft. If anything, NewBee fell in the trap like, oh, we've got this great draft that can counter TA, but leaving a Naga Siren ignored, and No-Tail has taken so much with all that space he's been given. And he's in a great position to succeed here and force a game 3, but NewBee, they've got that big scary teamfight lineup, and that's something they're definitely going to be looking to use with the level 2 Supernova.
Smoked up again, but look at the Kaka, jumps in with a stun. Oh, Miracle!
Again, it's Crit.
So much damage at this stage.
And these, every single time you look at NewBee, you've got escape spells like Phoenix has died. You've got Ember Spirit with the Remnant escape, Void with the Time Warp, and every single time Crit is there with the stun and or the silence to prevent those escape spells. He's been on point. And you look at these gates, you figure, okay, maybe like 1 or 2 times you're going to get away. Every single time he stopped the escape.
Miracle, not afraid to tickle How. Just teasing him here on the side. But as you said, yeah. I mean, how do you deal with this just constant threat of Crit jumping in and getting that initial lockdown onto you if you're on the side of NewBee?
I think NewBee need to look for a smoke play fairly soon again. They've recently got a 4-staff up. They're perhaps waiting for the Aghanim Scepter on move, but they can't just sit back and let OG dominate the map. Try and smoke up using 3 or 4 heroes. The AA has a global Ice Blast. Invoker's got the global Sunstrike, so just send like the Ember, Void, and Phoenix for a 3-man smoke.
How? He's got to be careful. OG know he's there, and they're going to be ready to jump in. Crit immediately with the stun, the silence, and there we have it again. It really is the Crit show.
This Blink Dagger this early on is just completely wrecked NewBee. This Ember's just like, man, even when he gets this battle screen, he still can't farm. He's still so prone to just being blown up as we just saw.
Man. And it's exactly the way that we expected OG to play from the start. Having these playmakers, giving No-Tail this space. So you're essentially winning the game so far without No-Tail needing to do anything. I mean, occasionally we've seen him come up with kind of 2 songs in big fights, but he's had so much space. Now he's going to use the song. It should be a little bit, yeah, I was going to say, just TP straight out of this one, a NewBee. It's a nice 5-man gank. JK as OG avert it all.
They're thinking about Roche, but with Batrider in the neighborhood, I don't even know if OG are going to let this happen. Miracle could theoretically pressure the top lane with his Desolator, but he said, screw that, let's fight Roche, yeah.
Absolutely, and NewBee know this. So NewBee will look to try and fight outside of the pit. Managed to find a lock onto Miracle. Miracle could be in a bit of trouble with the Sun Ray, the Ice Blast as well. They'll find it. Okay. Huge kill for NewBee there.
That was he rotated past the tower at mid, and NewBee recognizing that he was completely alone, TP the Ember in and catch him, preventing his Blink Dagger. So really nice punish from NewBee.
I mean, is Song of the Sirens down? There's no Miracle. This is a good bit of space for NewBee. We'll see what they decide to do with it. They're smoked up.
They don't kill Roche incredibly fast, but it might just be fast enough with TA dead and Song down.
OG, they are coming across them. We'll see if they do still want to have a go of it. Crit.
It's so annoying. You've got Boulder Smashes, Flame Breaks, all these long-range stuns, and annoying nukes just flying in, and you can't even punish this. If you're a NewBee, you've got to try and jump one of these heroes that keep throwing these nukes, but an Earth Spirit has a blink. Batrider also has a blink. Now you're not going to catch these heroes.
And at this rate, Miracle's going to be back on the field in
okay,
time.
They've caught
they've caught Moon. Chrono into the Ice Blast, the Bat's down.
Oh, he picked up a Shadow Blade just for that initiation. I like this from KP. Talk about how to find these pickoffs.
Eyes onto No-Tail. No-Tail's alone here. He needs some help. Has picked up his Octarine though. I mean, as we said, the farm 26 minutes in. Radiant's Octarine Naga.
Yeah, the Shadow Blade from KP is recognizing that NewBee's catch is very lacking, and they need some way to reliably initiate. Blink Dagger isn't all that good when you're against the Radiant's illusion, so gets the Shadow Blade, but the response that is likely to come from OG is you get a gem and give it to your Naga. The illusions kind of going out on the map can always see that initiation coming in.
So for the time being, both teams are just going to draw their attention away from the pit. Very, very scared, of course, of Miracle's TA, the side of NewBee. They know that it's pretty much suicide to try and go for the Roche whilst OG have these heroes alive. Especially with the Chronosphere, of course, back on cooldown. And OG, they're certainly not scared themselves. They're going to smoke up, move immediately over to the pit, and they themselves, with that TA, have a huge amount of damage. No Chrono for 45. This is great timing to try and go for it. See if NewBee do head over and do contest. In fact, looks like OG may. No, okay, here with the Suntra. They know what's up. Ice Blast. Nice connection to none of them. In fact, Miracle sidesteps it successfully. OG move back in. Moon has the lasso up as well. KP for some kind of wraparound with the Shadow Blade, but still at 20 seconds until the Chronosphere.
The egg by the Roche pit, very deadly to fight into. You can plant it on the cliffs. But without Chrono, oh, they'll even song.
Yeah, just to make sure. And OG take the Roche. Aegis now onto Miracle. And no response available from NewBee.
Hal's still trying to farm up his Battle Fury. He's had a miserable time these last 10 minutes. No Battle Fury, hasn't been able to farm out on the map. The punish from this Earth Spirit just keeps on coming his way.
He's in Crit Moon.
KP wants a courier.
Everyone at the moment just being incredibly sneaky on both sides. Keeping themselves in the trees, but no one's going to catch out either. Bottom lane. Hal's got to be careful. Moon's there, ready with the catch. Jumps in. Lasso and crit with the damage. Should be enough to bring him down, and it is indeed. Catching Hal out just like that. We've seen it so many times. I mean, Moon and crit, this time working in collaboration to find the kill, and it's successful.
He finally thought, like, okay, they've left this bottom lane. I can get my Battle Fury. No. OG are patient. They'll wait. They've figured out Hal's farming patterns. They know where he is on the map. They've just really read him well the last 10 minutes of this game, and as a result, NewBee do not have the farm they need on the hero they picked to help deal with the Naga Siren. Naga Siren, over 10k net worth ahead of Hal's Ember Spirit.
It is crazy how Notel's been farming up, but at the same time, it's not unexpected because of the fact that NewBee just haven't been given a chance to get themselves down there and attempt to deal with the Naga. We saw them go for one 5-man gank, but the song was there, the initiation was cancelled, and ever since that, NewBee just haven't tried to do it again.
OG ready to push forward now with Aegis on Miracle. They can just be split pushing all these lanes with Naga Siren while they've got a good base breaking hero in the form of the Desolated TA. So life gets very difficult for NewBee. You have to rely on that heavy team fight of theirs. They've got to land that big Chrono if they want to stand a chance in this fight. And here, there is the gem of the Naga Siren that I talked about. You get this up, you send those illusions around. KP can no longer rely on this Shadow Blade for his initiation.
See how hard OG want to go in on this mid lane. NewBee, side. Moon just dies onto KP top. Hal's trying to do his best to clean it out here. OG, looks like they're not going to be able to muster the courage to go straight in as of yet.
Is a free tier 2 tower for them to take it bottom lane. And we're talking about taking free towers into what is the big team fight lineup of NewBee.
Miracle.
This Battle Fury pick up by Hal doesn't even change all too much.
It's so late, yeah. It's not the timing that you're looking for as an Ember Spirit. OG, the way that they played, the way that they've drafted this as well, they've just dealt excellently with what NewBee wanted to do this game. It's a total different story to what we saw in game 1, and here we have Miracle chipping away at the tier 3s with what kind of response is NewBee going to give?
It's so difficult because you've got Naga Illusions pressuring the mid lane. They're chasing Phoenix around, so they're always kind of keeping tabs of where the Phoenix is going to be, and it's just very reliable, safe damage. Miracle just slowly chipping away at the tier 3 tower, and it's forcing NewBee to make a play.
Right? I mean, Miracle he's finding this tower on his own, and NewBee, they're just being forced back to the base by Notel's illusions.
Ice Blast won't even land, and Miracle's just gotten a free tier 3.
And now with no Ice Blast, OG, they know that they've got the time to move back in. Just continue to push onto the racks. And NewBee, I think they're just wondering what the heck they can do. Maybe if they can find some sort of a Chronosphere. KP, but again, as you said, these illusions with the gems just meaning that KP can't find the jump in that he wants
supernova. He used it just so he doesn't die to Naga illusions.
Oh my goodness.
NewBee are in disarray right now. their initiation just isn't there with the Shadow Blade into a gem. And
Miracle looking to move. One, the Ghost Walk will be there. KP gets on the Chronosphere. Can they take out the TMX Fly with his Shallow Grave? Keeping Miracle alive. No Tail moving into the center of it all. Ice Blast won't catch Miracle. He's still keeping his first time attacking crit. Hits onto the Invoker. The Aegis will be popped. A buyback immediately from Moo. Trying to get himself back in and hold on this defense. But KP, he's been caught out on the back lines. They'll take down the Void as well. No buyback available for 50 seconds. Now, oh, he's been lassoed in, and just like that, Miracle ripping the Ember to shreds. They'll come out with this, and at this stage, NewBee, I mean, game one, they were beating OG around in their base, but this time OG beat NewBee around in theirs. GG is called. What a turnaround in game two, and I mean, game 3, Park, off the back of what we've seen going either way, I don't know how it's going to end up.
I mean, this game even started well for NewBee. Their early game pressure on the mid lane with the Phoenix Sunray, they constantly kill Miracle. They had the kills going their way. KP got a bit bullied in that off lane on his Void, but both top